Hello and welcome back. We now have the numbers today for the Algoma district in terms of COVID-19 cases. So here we go. We have now tested 918 people. We still only have 10 positive tests so far in Algoma, and we're waiting for 115 results right now. Now the provincial government has said, Doug Ford said, that by Wednesday, tomorrow, we're going to be doing 8,000 tests a day. The amount of tests we're waiting for, the pending ones, has actually gone down from yesterday to today. So they must have increased their testing yesterday in terms of capacity. They're supposed to be, again, increasing today, and tomorrow they're supposed to be doing 8,000 tests a day. We do have the capacity to do 13,000 tests a day. However, we've not been able to get anywhere near that number so far. Now, I want to talk to you about the economy and a couple of things about it. I'm going to use the example of the United Kingdom right now because we just got numbers on how their economy is being affected by COVID-19. They have taken very similar measures to what we have done here in Canada. So their economy is projected to be 35% smaller from April until June. And this is from the Office for Budget Responsibility. They're basically the ones who take the government's financial numbers and then come out with, okay, what's the GDP? Is it going up and down? What's the debt to GDP ratios and other things like that that are important when you're trying to figure out the health of an economy. So they're looking at the drop of 35% for this year. To put that into perspective, that's a $273 billion drop in the amount of money that the government's going to bring in, meaning that their deficit will go up $273 billion this year. That will be added onto their total debt. That is a massive amount of money. To put that into perspective, that's about $342 billion deficit in Canada, to put it into comparison terms. This is the biggest deficit they've ever run since World War II. The economy, though, based on those numbers, is actually going to bounce back fairly robustly. In the UK, they expect most sectors to recover to somewhat where they were prior to the COVID-19. The one sector that's getting hit the most, though, is hotels and travel. And I'm going to talk about the hotel industry now here in Canada. Hotels have seen a massive drop in their business. Not just slightly, but like huge. So for example, the hotel occupancy rate, which is, what percentage of the rooms in your hotel are taken up, is sitting at 13%. That's a 79% decrease year over year. So that is huge. And also the way hotels look at how profitable they are or how much money they're generating, it's called revenue per available room. That is the indicator of profitability for hotels. Now, it's down 85% since last year. So right now, hotels are averaging making $13.42 per night on a hotel room. That's an 85% drop. That's huge. And the luxury and upscale hotels are the ones that are getting the most hard hit. So for example, luxury hotels in the first week of April had an occupancy rate of 2.5%. The entire industry had a 13% occupancy rate, and luxury had 2.5%. And the reason for that is that business travel has dried up, and so have group bookings. A lot of conferences happen at luxury hotels. The other thing to look at too is how many jobs are in the hotel industry. And it's about 200,000 people who've lost their jobs so far who work directly for hotels, and another 100,000 who work in food services somehow connected to a hotel. Most hotels that have restaurants in them, the hotel doesn't own the restaurant. It's usually an outside company. And that's why those numbers are different. So it's about 300,000 people in total who have lost their jobs because of COVID-19 in the hotel industry. So that's the people who take care of the rooms, the people you meet at the front desks, marketing, and the management and so on. And then you also have all the people who work in the restaurants at hotels who have also lost jobs. Now, Toronto was one of the hardest cities hit. Its occupancy rate is actually down at 8.6%. We don't really know what the numbers are here locally because nothing has been released in terms of how our hotels are doing here in the Soo and the Algoma region. Also, now, Andrew Scheer, yes, one of my favorite politicians of all time. That was being sarcastic. He decided to, this past Saturday they came back to vote on the emergency wage subsidy. And Scheer was in Saskatchewan with his family. He was supposed to be picked up on a private jet with Elizabeth May and a Liberal MP and himself to fly back to Ottawa for that vote. Well, he decided to bring his whole family with him. You're going to see on screen a picture of the jet. Every single seat on that jet was filled with a person. It was filled with Elizabeth May, a Liberal MP, Andrew Scheer, and his family. It was impossible to social distance on that plane. The only person that wore a mask on that plane was Elizabeth May. They were in close contact. They flew from Saskatchewan all the way to Ottawa on that plane. It's a 9-seater because Andrew Scheer didn't want to not have his family with him at Easter. I talked the other day about don't travel with your family or travel to see your family on Easter because you can help spread the virus. And what? The Conservative Party leader then does it? Come on. I can't believe this actually happened. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I'll be right back in a moment.